Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Shootaround Sessions Podcast with me, your host, Tawasi C, and my man,
DP. You know how it is, bro.
Man, we right in the midst. This is our trade deadline special. A lot of moves been made around the NBA this week. And, you know, last week we said we didn't think it was going to be nothing crazy, just draft capital and stupid stuff like that. But guess what? A lot of moves. We was wrong. We'll be the first to always admit when we wrong. But
100%.
Bro, how you feeling today, Brody? How you feeling today?
I mean, I'm cool. Literally cool. It's cold outside.
It's cold, man. Shout out to all the East Coast people holding down in the cold. You know, we got to shout out. You know what we got to do, man.
And then a little cold on the inside because Detroit is on a little revenge tour. But man, we'll get to that.
That don't count. That don't count. All that stuff don't matter because when even have full trade, we don't count. But we're going to get into it. We're going to start from the trade that happened literally after we hit the record button to turn off the show last week. It was James Harden and Darius Garland swapping teams. Darius Garland went to the Clippers and James Harden went to the Cavaliers. How are we feeling about this move?
It's like, okay. For both teams is okay. As a matter of fact, no. To me, I think the Clippers came off better because they got a younger guard that they can rock with. But James Harden going to Cleveland, I don't know. I mean, he is a good facilitator. He is an excellent scorer. But you got two of the pretty much the same person in the backcourt. I don't know. Doesn't make them better. We'll have to wait and see. But if I'm a Cavaliers fan, like a real true basketball fan, I'm not jumping for joy because you guys putting all this stock and capital into James Harden, who has won nothing. I'm sorry.
Bruh.
That's what it is.
To me, it's stressful because this is about, I think, the fifth team that James Harden has been with, and the X amount, the millionth time he's requested a trade in the last few years from since the debacle leaving Houston when he got fat, then he left Brooklyn, then he got out of Brooklyn and went to Philly. So a lot of the James Harden mess don't make no sense. I'm not surprised, but I see on the internet a lot of buzz. They talking about, him and Harden, that's a backcourt duo. Not him and Harden. Harden and Mitchell is going to be a crazy backcourt duo. And I'm looking at like, am I bugging? Like, you break up a team that's been together for a few years, that's been clicking chemistry. Granted, they ain't winning the wins this year. And Darius Garland, he ain't been doing himself any favors by, the injury bug that he's been experiencing. But he's an all-star. You're getting an older Harden. I don't know what Cleveland's doing, but I know they're not going to beat the Knicks. So kudos to them for trying to clean up some stuff. That's all I can really say.
Yeah, like I said, I personally don't see it. And like you said, Harden been all over the place. You know you have a problem, and as soon as you get traded, the memes start up. Harden's requested a trade from the Cleveland Cavaliers because he just doesn't want to be there no more.
That's it. I think that's his NBA legacy, and I'm not going to lie. I'm not even going to say I became a Harden fan. I got a lot of respect for James Harden when I was watching that documentary on Netflix where they showed the starting five documentary, and
right.
I saw him as a person. I always thought he wasn't a great teammate, the way he'd like to dip on teams like, it's not working for me here, it's not working for me there. And when do we put that Chris Paul stigma on him that he's just ring chasing, and when are we going to say it's not going to work?
After this tenure is done with the Cavaliers, whether it's the end of this season or they want to do a fresh restart and say, you know what, it was a middle of the season trade. Let's see how we do full season. If by the end of next season there's nothing, they don't make it past the first or second round again, then you put them in that category. It is what it is.
We see the vibes. So let's talk about another trade that happened right after we closed our show last week, and that was Anthony Davis finding a new home in Washington. The Dallas Mavericks traded away Anthony Davis, Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum for a bunch of guys that I'm not even going to pretend like I know. I mean, I know Tyus Jones, I know Chris Middleton, I know Marvin Bagley. How you feeling about that move? Like, it's just really not making any sense what Washington is trying to put together.
Washington is chasing. You know what Washington reminds me of? It reminds me of the Knicks back in the 2000s. We were bringing in all these former stars with their broken knees and broken elbow caps and trying to do something. That's what it seems like they're doing right now. One thing is for sure, wherever Anthony Davis go, D'Angelo Russell is not too far behind.
They've been linked together for a minute.
They've been linked together for a minute. When everyone is healthy, it looks like something, but and then I'm hearing this morning, I don't know how true it is, that Anthony Davis has been shut down for the season. So if that's the case, again, we can't really comment on it because there's a good chance we won't see him on the court this year. But like I said, that was just rumors. I don't know how true this is, but you're pairing him up with Trae Young on paper in their primes. That
works.
Deadly. That is deadly.
Deadly.
Both guys not available. Washington is okay at being at the bottom right now, and I think they just want to wait until next year to see how this turns out.
It's a head scratcher for me to make the move. I mean, Dallas has clearly cleaned up the mess that Nico Harrison made with this trade now. So I think we finally passed that. I mean, I don't think Dallas will ever let go of that Luka thing. And Nico, they gonna hate them people forever, but they cleaned it up, and now all people associated with that move are gone. I really don't know what Washington is trying to do because they're probably one of the worst teams in the league, so they probably might have the most ping pong balls come June and probably have a lot of picks and things that they're trying to mortgage off. They get rid of a big contract in Chris Middleton probably expiring at some point. Tyus Johnson goes there, and he could be Tyus Jones, my bad. Excuse me. Tyus Jones goes to Dallas, so he could probably be not that star point guard, but for somebody, a real true point guard that could hold things down until Kyrie gets back and they could figure things out over there. But I don't know. And let me bring up one more point, right? Not even on this, but we forgot to mention somebody else Cleveland got rid of, and that was Lonzo Ball. I don't think he was doing anything in Cleveland, really. He was just there, good bench guy, and they're really looking for a solid point guard. So we could look at the Cleveland Cavaliers. He got traded to... Did he get traded? I didn't even know where Lonzo got traded to,
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think it was Utah. I think it was Utah. Utah let him go, but we're going to get there. We're going to put a bow on this Wizards thing. They get Anthony Glass. I don't even see him being trade bait in the future. I don't know how that works, but...
No, definitely not.
Shout outs to Washington. We're going to move on with another big trade. We have Kristaps Porzingis, KP, our guy. He gets traded from the Hawks, and he goes to the Golden State Warriors. How are we feeling about that? And the Hawks get Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield. How are we feeling about that trade?
A part of me is there were reports that Golden State had Kristaps on their they were viewing him from long ago. They wanted to make that move if the whole Giannis thing fell apart. They got their guy. To me, it more seems like they more wanted to get rid of Jonathan Kuminga than anything. And they were willing to take, not anything, because, again, these players, if you're on the floor, your best ability is availability.
Availability, correct.
If you're on the floor, you are dynamic. Like, you're great. Porzingis is a great shooter. He play interior defense, but the thing is, he's never on the court. So it's hard for me to say, oh, this person's going to make a difference because I don't know. They're not playing. They're not on the court. So I have no clue. It might work out. Hey, listen, you put stuff with anybody, stuff will make it work, but you got to be there.
That's a fact. And, I mean, I've been seeing buzz all week talking about, the Golden State Warriors aren't doing right by Steph Curry. They need to put him with somebody so he could win in his last days. I like we said, I would never sleep on Steph Curry. Dynamic player, great player. I think anytime he's on the court, whoever you put him with, he's always going to have a chance to get that ring. And Porzingis, if he could get right, if he could be on the court, I think he'll be a problem for that team. I think Steve Kerr is a great coach. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but we're back. We left off, we was talking about Porzingis on the Warriors. Like I said, I'm glad this Kuminga situation is over. I think Kuminga is a great player. I don't think he's like superstar level, but I feel he's a good hand, and we'll see how he plays out on a team like Atlanta, because Atlanta is a hungry young team that just needed to get a fresh start with these young players they have. So I feel like they're doing good, and I feel like it could be a decent trade, but we'll just see how it plays out.
Yeah.
I believe Buddy Hield started his career in Atlanta. I can't remember where Buddy Hield started. No, maybe he was New Orleans or someplace.
New Orleans
He's been
or
on
something of the sort.
He's been on so many teams. So
a journeyman.
many teams. Journeyman.
Yeah.
But we got to talk about the elephant in the room. A big topic that happened was Giannis Antetokounmpo and the New York Knicks, and pretty much for the most part, no team making a move on Giannis. How are we feeling about no team making a move on Giannis Antetokounmpo?
I feel like all other NBA team called Milwaukee's bluff. Basically, they had no leverage. I'm sorry. Your superstar did not want to be there, but yet I'm hearing that their asking price was ridiculous. So no team, one, he already told you where he wanted to play, whether it was 1, 2, or 3 destinations. Once those 2, 3 teams stop looking, all other teams, then there's the fear of, if we give you guys all of this draft capital and all of these young players, how do we know that this player is going to want to play with us a year from now? They had no leverage. And again, a team like the Knicks, who they knew he wanted to come there, I want to give you pennies. Here, look, take this. If you don't want this, listen, we good.
We're good.
All right.
That's
I think
fact.
another team was Miami that he was possibly looking at. Who knows what Milwaukee was asking for? No team was about it. It's not about no team not wanting Giannis. It's about the Bucks just they played poker and they washed out.
They gambled and they lost.
They gambled and they lost.
I mean, for me, I look at it as they should have made this once Damian Lillard tore his Achilles and they got booted out of the playoffs last year. They should have started shopping Giannis and making this move. Once they decided to let go of Dame Lillard, they should have said, this thing is not going to work. Let's count our losses and let's try to move this guy. It should have happened last summer. The fact that it didn't happen in at least somewhere in the beginning of the season before he started going down with these injuries, it shows you they waited too long to make the move. They waited too long to start shopping him. It was a whole bunch of, let's make this guy feel happy. And this person, I want to be here, then I don't want to be here. You played yourself, respectfully. And I'm very happy in the New York Knicks organization for not breaking up what they had, for not hitting the panic button and jumping after a superstar that it didn't make sense in our plan. You know, we went on our little losing streak. We got it together, 8 games in a row. Shout out to the Knicks. And we didn't hit that move.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if this was 2 weeks ago when the Knicks were down and out, they probably would have pushed the panic button and made a crazy trade, giving away too much. But then they figured it out, went on an 8-game winning streak. They looked excellent in them 8 games. And then they realized we started a project, let's finish it and let's see it through.
Fact.
If something like a Giannis comes around, if it's doable to the team where we're not giving up or doing too much or giving up, like just let's leave it alone. We will look at this again at the end of the season, and who knows, he might come towards the end of the season or he will finish out his contract in Milwaukee or end up somewhere else. It is what it is.
That's a fact. They might lose him for nothing, but we're going to see how that go. And somebody that we, the New York Knicks, did not lose for technically nothing. Let's talk about it. We got rid of our guy, Yabusele, in a kind of weird move. But how you feeling that the Knicks finally got rid of Yabusele? We got some guy from Chicago. I don't even know who he is. Dalen Terry, then we got rid of him, and we picked up a player that we wanted, a player that we were rumored to be getting for a while. We picked up Jose Alvarado, Brooklyn-born guy. Shout out to Brooklyn. We got to make some noise for Brooklyn. How we feeling that the Knicks picked up Jose Alvarado?
My man Grand Theft Alvarado.
We got some heart.
We got some heart. The boy is a defensive just menace. I like to call him a menace. His backcourt steals. He stays, again, Jalen Brunson, who has picked up his defense intensity recently. I would say that, but he will definitely need help in the backcourt when it comes to defense. When you got somebody there, it's just the special word, a dog. We picked up a dog, all right?
Straight dog.
Yabusele was not getting any minutes. He was not going to play. It was not going to happen. So getting rid of him is really nothing. And we didn't give up too much.
No.
It seems like we're going to get another rotation player, especially with the sad news of Deuce McBride might be out for the rest of the season, or he might be back by the playoffs, but I will see. So you got so you're losing one defensive menace for another one. Let's see how all this comes about. I'm excited about it. I want to see how this goes. There's been a lot of buzz behind Alvarado. He's coming back home. He's from Brooklyn, Puerto Rican. You know how they do.
You know how they do.
You know how they do. So again, we got a nice little dog in the song. I like it.
Nah, I was loving the move because, again, I feel like we're not reaching. I feel like the Knicks are not doing too much. They got the core already built out, and they're just plugging in pieces that work. We lost Deuce. Deuce is not done for the season yet. I don't want to say that yet. I feel like he will come back, but we got a good person to kind of fill out that rotation. You got to line up in him and Shamet in that backcourt, that bench backcourt, second string backcourt that could come in, lock up a lot of other guards. Like we've seen VJ Edgecombe give the Knicks problems. Granted, I don't think Philly's going anywhere high in the playoffs, but you see them, like you see guys like he could guard a Cade Cunningham. He's a smaller player, but like you said, he's going to be that defensive pest that we need in that back end. You could also put him with Jordan Clarkson there. Jordan Clarkson can give you buckets. He's going to fill in your defense. So I feel like the Knicks have improved and we have gotten better. Yabusele, we thank you for your services. It wasn't very much, but Yabusele just wasn't fitting within this offense. He got traded last week, and I believe he played one game for the Bulls so far.
Yeah, I believe he played last night, and he hit, 2 threes?
Bro, he did more than he did for the Knicks.
He did more than he did for the Knicks. It's a case in point of the player and the system just not meshing well. It happens. It happens. I was excited when he came in, and then I realized that he's just not fitting. He didn't have a place in the system, and then by the time he came on the court, he was like a lost dog. He didn't know what to do.
Facts.
Yeah, he was looking for that open three, couldn't get the open three, and then he just, I don't know, a deer in headlights. So
we got to talk about another important trade that we saw, which is Chris Paul going to the Raptors. We got to put the air quotes on that one. Chris Paul going to the Raptors. The Raptors received Chris Paul. Brooklyn Nets got Ochi blah, blah, blah. And the Clippers received the rights to another player who I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his name. But how we feeling about that move? Because we put the air quotes on Chris Paul because he's traded to there, but he doesn't have to report. So technically, he got a no-show job.
He got a no-show job, right. I don't know if they're going to waive him, or I don't know what the situation might be. And if they do waive him, as Chris Paul, what do you do?
Man.
Like, what do you do? Do you just bow out and leave it and try to leave as much grandiose to your legacy, or do you just sign minimum veteran at the minimum to a team that you know is going to win a championship? Go to OKC and just get that ring that has eluded you for so long. I have no clue what his like. Again, Chris Paul. It's sad it's sad for me because I don't see Chris Paul how everyone else does. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of his teammates, and I know a lot of the people that played against him don't like the dude. I know a lot of fans don't like him, but I don't know. I've always been a Chris Paul fan, and I feel bad for him.
Yeah, I personally feel bad for Chris Paul because you don't treat a legend like that. Chris Paul is one of the, if not top 5 point guards of all time, and I'm putting him up there. First ballot Hall of Famer. You cannot deny that. But if you ask Rajon Rondo, he's gonna say, "Man, that's karma for him." You know what I mean?
That's true.
That banana, and we dare I say we've seen maybe a few guys in that banana boat crew not go out in the right style, and you're just seeing another one where. You know, you had a guy like Melo. Melo dealt with some problems when he left the Knicks and started to get blackballed from the league, and now you're seeing it with Chris Paul, and I just don't really understand why the NBA is treating some of their top dogs like this. I believe at one time Chris Paul was the head of the NBA Players Association. He was probably he was. That's how I'm just like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Let the guy go out in style. I don't understand what they're doing to him, but I mean, hey, everybody trying to free up some cap space and get some things happening, so more power to them. But they'll figure out that Chris Paul story and what they're going to do with him.
Just hold up. like Melo said, Melo wasn't on that damn boat.
Yeah, he said he wasn't on the boat. My bad, Melo. He said he wasn't on the boat. He in the crew, but he wasn't on that boat.
I wasn't on that damn boat, man.
Let's talk about another underground trade that's going on that nobody's really talking about, but that's Jared McCain being traded from the Sixers going to the OKC Thunder. How are we feeling about that? So Philadelphia picks up a first-round draft pick and 3 second-round picks, and then OKC, of course, receives Jared McCain. How are we feeling about that?
That's another draft capital. That's another draft capital move. Again, there were so many trades and so many moves, and this was one of the first times that I believe where a lot of the trades went on well before the trade deadline like actually came close. So it was interesting in that, and it was very interesting in that way. But to me, again, and a lot of those trades were people freeing up cap space, people getting draft capital because nobody wants to be in the second apron and all type of crazy stuff. So it just seems like people were just making certain moves. I don't say just to make moves, but they're making certain moves for financial reasons.
Nah, that's a fact. I mean, the thing with Jared McCain though, because Jared McCain was one of those highly touted young players. I believe before he got hurt, he was up for Rookie of the Year. I think it was last year or the year before. I can't remember, but they took him away from that young Philadelphia core, and you add him to a team like the OKC Thunder, who are undoubtedly one of the best teams in the NBA. Not Super Bowl. Whoa, Super Bowl. We had a Super Bowl weekend, but
Super Bowl weekend. But yeah.
He's one of those good players on that team. That young core that 76ers was back again, running it back. Technical difficulties on this day because so many trades. The computers are going crazy. Technology is going crazy.
It's going crazy.
Let's put a bow on this draft discussion. This trade discussion. We're saying a lot of teams made moves for cap space. How are you feeling? Like, do you feel trades were more exciting back in our day? I know I'm kind of aging us, but do you feel like the trade deadline with the aprons and all the things involved has made the NBA trade deadline lose its luster?
It did because, again, a lot of people are not making moves to win championships. People are making moves to save money. So at the end of the day, again, these last few trade deadlines have been completely dead. There's been nothing significant. There's been nothing, oh my gosh, I can't believe. We did have a few trades this season, and I do appreciate it because a lot of people were getting it done. They were getting it done by Tuesday, Wednesday. They were doing things ahead of time, but there were a lot of moves, more than enough moves where it was just draft capital, saving money, second apron. I don't know why the league is trying to handicap a lot of these teams. I understand they want to move it away from major markets, but major markets aren't really winning like that anymore. Like, just stop. Let the game be fun again. Let the game be fun again.
Let the game be. And I think we're putting a lot of onus on these draft capitals and these younger players. And to me personally, I feel like the draft hasn't been the same in a very long time. We've had some bright spots, but there was something that was brought to my attention the other day where when Lonzo was gone, they said, oh, is Lonzo one of the biggest busts of all time? And I'm like, I don't even think he was a bust. I don't think he should have been there in the first place. But you're seeing stars move from team to team and guys that could be something somewhere moving, and you're not playing them. We don't have any more veterans in the system where it's like we have veterans on the team helping young guys. You're just seeing everybody trying to stay under the cap. And I don't feel like this is helping the league in any way.
I hear you. There is one trade I do want to bring up, which I think is a sleeper trade, and it might have the biggest impact. Nikola Vucevic going to Boston. That move right there, I had to round of applause to Boston.
Shout out to Boston for that one.
Because I feel like they got Kristaps and they got what's the name wrapped in one in that trade. Who is it? Gosh, my mind is losing.
Al Horford.
Al Horford.
Yeah.
I feel like he's a mixture of both. He's a big man that can defend inside and also shoot that three. That was a good pickup for Boston.
Yeah, good pickup for Boston. They are rivals. They are rivals, but it was a good pickup. He was wasting time in Chicago, not really doing anything. And I always thought, even if you go back to the days when he was on the Orlando Magic, that guy was a problem. And I feel like over the years he added that 3-point game, as you said. So now you got double trouble in he's Porzingis and he's Al Horford in the same play.
They got it 2-1. It was a great, that was a great move right there. I have to give them respect. I have to give them respect for that.
They trying, and I just got to say Mitchell Robinson is going to lock him up. I welcome that challenge any day because, as we seen, I wanted to talk about this game really, really quickly. I know we got spanked last night by the Detroit Pistons, but we got the New York Knicks. We got a big win when we played Denver in a double OT thriller. Shouldn't even have been an OT thriller, double OT thriller at least. Shout out to Mikal Bridges, almost blew it, but they got it together. How are we feeling about our New York Knicks coming off of this 8-game winning streak? We lost last night, but that was just a throwaway game. We was tired. How are you feeling about our Knicks right now where we stand?
They look good. They look like they're all together. They are. I feel like everyone is finally buying in. I think after whatever teams only meeting they had, and I'm pretty sure they spoke to the coaching staff, and Mike Brown looked like he got involved. I think everyone is finally coming together and understanding what they need to do. I haven't seen as much complaining. We need to see absolutely no complaining at all coming from him. But they look good. They look dangerous. They're back. They're going back into the form as to where they were in the beginning of the season, where every other team in the East and some in the West are looking and fearing when they come up on the calendar. All right. There's only Detroit that circles their games when it comes to the Knicks because they are on a revenge tour. They want to, but this is the regular season. I'm not saying that these games don't matter. Where it matters is come April when it's the playoffs. That's when things really start kicking in again. You're really seeing who the bad boys are.
And I'll say this to those Detroit fans out there. In particular, I met a Detroit fan about 2-3 weeks ago, and she was very adamant that her team is coming for the New York Knicks. Shout out to her. But I just want to say, the only thing Detroit has solidified by beating the Knicks this season is that the road to the finals will go through Detroit. And what I mean by that is, say we got to go 7 games, the Knicks are going to win in Detroit, and we got to hang our banners in Detroit. That's all it's going to be. That's all it's setting up to. You heard it here first. I'm telling y'all, the Knicks are ready for this team. And with the new addition of Jose Alvarado, you're going to see a more gritty, more defensive team. Bridges, he had a little off game the other night. I ain't tripping about that. We're going to be ready for these people. We got our core. We got everybody locked in. I'm happy to see where this thing goes. I'm happy.
You and I both. And listen, the Knicks right now, the Knicks fan base, the MSG, all that stuff is living rent-free in Detroit Pistons' head and all of their friends' heads. So listen, that'll be their downfall.
Trust me. Cade, we coming for you, man. You can get all that stuff now, but we got something. I trust Mike Brown. He got something in the pocket, and you're going to see a different team coming out of this break after this All-Star break.
I'm ready for it.
Man, but until then, we're going to put a bow on this episode, and that is it for the Shootaround Sessions Podcast Trade Deadline Special. Our first one, we got many more. And dare I say, I give you a preview into next week's episode because we're going to be doing our mid-season awards. We're heading up to the All-Star break. We're going to talk about the All-Star break, but we're also going to give out our mid-season awards to all the players that's been happening, like our mid-season players ball, if you dare say. But look out for that one. Stay tuned for that one. In the meantime, keep getting them shots up. It's me, your boy, Tawasi C.
And your man, Randy B. You know what it is.
You know how we do Shoot-Around Sessions, man. Stay locked in with us. Like and subscribe and join the ride. You know how we do it. Peace.